I visited NIT Calicut some 8 months back, and I was very happy to see the absolute transformation that institute has undergone. I was visiting the institute for nearly 20 years. I visited 20 years before. In a gap of 20 years, around 20 years, a lot of changes and development have happened at the institute. I was very happy to see that. Before I make any statement further, I used to be teaching classical psychology for some time at some higher levels for a brief time. And I came across the concept of figure and ground, which was very interesting. The concept of figure and ground is very apt in the design of educational institutions. Sometimes architects overlook such factors. What is figure? Figure is actually the service or the educational activity that happens within an educational institution. Now, the mannerism in which students are taught, the number of students in a class, what kind of evaluation procedures do you have, what kind of discussions you have, what are the other co-curricular activities that are encouraged, more than anything, what you train students for. These are all factors that contribute to the figure of an institution. In the modern day world, I've got a vision and mission statement, which is also a component of the figure of an institute. Figure means what is the actual service and in what way it is given. The dynamics of the value addition process. Then we have a ground of an institute. Ground of an institute largely refers to the other infrastructure and paraphernalia and the other physical support structures and more than anything else the aesthetics of the institute. Both the figure and the ground have to be properly matched to some extent so that a student gets the right kind of academic feeling within its premises. Sometimes these things are overlooked. When a college or education is run by a private man, the figure and ground of the institute is totally dependent on that man. And of course, he is the one, if he is a visionary and a kind of an intellectual or a far-sighted man who has got a solid understanding of what these activities are all, but he definitely design institutes to the satisfaction of the public and has an brings the right kind of orientation to it. There are the top 100 institutes in India, maybe a sizable amount of private institutes would figure, largely because of the man who is running it has devoted himself into the activity. So it's not just devoted, he has got the right kind of orientation to things and he builds the figure and ground of the institute. Very well. Now, this is just an idea about what an educational institute, be it a medical college, engineering college, law college, whatever the college, you must match the figure and the ground. Now, I have lived in the campus of REC Calicut for nearly 4 years, slightly more than 4 years. And REC Calicut's campus is one of the most fantastic and finest educational campuses I've ever seen, largely because of its sylvan surroundings and its proximity to the Western Ghats. Another institute I have seen is KREC Surat. Now it's called NITK. It's also a good, well aesthetically well designed. The beauty of NITK Suratkal is the sea, which can be viewed from the top of the main building. It's a treat to go and stand there and have a cup of tea. It is almost like you are in a beach. And the person who put such a hotel on top of that building must be appreciated, because he has some kind of aesthetic sense and approach, so that people will get a right kind of feel. That's what I told, the ground of an institute. Students and people and faculty and other non-teaching staff and all kind of clerical staff, they do right feel at the workplace. Such kind of activities coordinate to create such feel. It's also a concept of modern day human resources development or human resources management. What is the beauty of REC Calicut is that it is a fairly much larger campus than some of the NITs have visited. I've not visited REC Trichy. This is an 800-acre campus. I've not visited the campus, so I cannot talk anything about that. REC Calicut's campus starts somewhere near those Chantabangalam hills near the temple and extends up to Katangal. That must be some 4 kilometers or so. Many people may not understand that REC Calicut is almost at the foothill of the Western Ghat Mountains. Maybe a stone throw distance of say 8 to 9 kilometers. Everything is more than that. Stone throw distance, or say some 10 to 15 kilometers. When I was a student, I remember seeing the Western Ghats mountains one afternoon very nicely. Even the rivulets on the Western Ghat mountains were very nicely visible. I think it was on top of the departmental building. Afternoon, I think some of us scrambled to the top of it. I think SR Sampath and Sudan Sumo and Jena were there, with whom I used to be most of the time in some form of company. I don't know exactly, but I definitely am seeing that even the rivulets, the streams on the Western Ghat mountains are very clearly visible from the top of the departmental building. I don't know if some of the students who are there right now would have tried that. Please see from where you get that view, where you can see the Western Ghat mountains. But RDC or Calicut of today is totally different, and with a lot of buildings and other kind of things. It really looks very impressive. I just had a walk stroll through one part of the campus, and I think they have done away with the old mini canteen. I felt sad, but maybe the government has its own reasons to take such decisions. I have written an article very nicely on my blog, which talks about regional engineering college Calicut. I think some of the principles of what I've written in the blog was written some 10 years ago, have been used by the planners of REC right in the new era. I can see certain things that I suggested in that blog invariably must have been used in the design of the institute as of now. But I think for all practical purposes, the entire REC NIT Calicut can be even repositioned so that it has a much better ground, as I use the word, or a much better facade, or a much better posture. With this existing land and with this existing infrastructure and whatever buildings we are building, I think we need to relook at slightly so that we get a more solid aesthetic feel. Now, how can that be done? Maybe in the next few minutes I can just talk about it so that someone who reads, the designers of campuses who read it in Delhi or other thing, or those are concerned. Even I think the NITs come under IITs. Today, every IIT is given the role of mentoring these NITs. Planners in IITs also. IITs have got very large buildings, which are definitely out of the world. I was walking through IIT Bombay, they're exceptionally long, large buildings, and very well designed facade and structures. NIT is also, NIT Calculus is also giving that feel, but I think somewhere it needs some kind of enhancement even further. Let us see if something can, what I'm talking can make some sense. I think the overall facade of the NIT Calicut has to be improved. How to create a facade is a very impressive, imposing, and formidable main building. The main building of NIT of now is definitely a good one, but I think it slightly falls short of some of the ethos of creating a formidable and imposing building. I don't know how that can be remedied to some extent. If one more floor can be built on the top of the main building, it should give a even better aesthetic feel. And the whole building painted in some kind of even more, some kind of impressive color that would make yeah, anyone who comes suddenly to the campus has a certain kind of a feel of enchantment, happiness, or thrill when he sees a building. The problem with the building designs of NIT Calicut now is that it is horizontally perfect but vertically imperfect. What do you mean by that? We have not got vertically slightly high-rise buildings. Vertical high-rise buildings have a great contribution to the improvement of the facade of an institute. It can come through painting of the building. If you can do some kind of unique, not unique, bright colored, ostentatious painting, that also helps. Or you must have the building slightly high-rise. I think we should. There's a lot of potential to build some kind of one floor above the main building, and a completely repainted main building would MB would definitely add that flavor or that aura that I am talking about. I don't know if there's some other way. I mentioned somewhere the best view of NIT Calicut, REC Calicut is the departmental building viewed from Papachan. I don't know if Papachan is still there. Please have a look at that. You really get the absolutely fantastic feel of the institute from that viewpoint. The departmental building on some kind of a hilly cushion, and you view the building from a low point, it leaves you enthralled. This is the kind of facade that I'm talking about. Unfortunately, on the other side of the campus, it is not on the main road. Crisscrosses the institute. I think there's a new road that has come from. I've not seen the entire campus in entirety. I think some of you should watch so that it will help in reposturing the institute, because the existing land mass and the existing buildings are all fine, very good, but they are yet to strike awe in a casual visitor. That is what I'm talking about. We need to strike awe. Now, well, I've said that. Is there any other way in which you can improve the facade of an caricature? One of the problems, as I see, is the vehicular movement into NIT REC Calicut. If you can stop that vehicular movement into REC Calicut, the entire landmass of REC Calicut free for students in toto. Now there is a road that goes through the institute, which with time is becoming more populated by vehicles. So effectively, we are having two campuses, one side of the road and two campus, one on the other side of the road, one is on the either side of the road, which gives a feeling of dichotomy to anyone who visits the institute. If we can enjoin the government to not let any vehicles at 12th mile may stop vehicles and turn left towards Papach and take the bypass road to Katangal. How that can be implemented, only government can say, but that is one solution. Long-term solution, you can't let these vehicles go into the campus. Whatever be the fallout of that must be managed and in the ways which professional people think is right. That is one thing or a bane, good and bad of the institute of the road. If we can get vehicular movements to the road stop, then a lot of other constructive things can be done. Like just ahead, when we get into the campus at 12th mile, from the 12th mile, a major main building can be planned there, built on just stones, not even brick and cement bricks. just with stones, measuring some like we could copy one of that IIT buildings that we see there straight there. If you can position a big building with some 400 meters in width, 400 or even 500 meters of width, and give a nice facade to it. That is the kind of positioning I'm talking. Not just a building. In the front of the building, you must put certain attractive attachments to the building in some form, civil engineering form, so that the whole thing looks imposing. We need to do that. Other private people will take a lot of students from us. Slowly, the privatization of universities in India, private universities in India, they are becoming more powerful slowly. It's a good thing, but even government institutes have to react in a business way too. Now, okay, some couple of high-rise buildings also can plan some 20, some 6, 10 stories with lift. That also at certain points can be planned so that the overall facade of this, as I told you, horizontally perfect, vertically wanting. That is the correct definition of the facade of NIDRC Calicut of now. Horizontally, we have got right kind of spread of buildings. We need slightly high-rise buildings, buildings that slightly go higher into the sky, to give the kind of facade that I'm looking at. Building a floor or two floor can be planned even above the old library. I think the library is for some other purpose. It's a large building. If you can put one more thing, the canteen of NID Calicut is too small. Though that building looks very impressive, the moment someone gets down from the bus, at that point, building looks very inviting. But the canteen is two wings. It looks like an airplane ready to take off. It has got two wings. Students not knowing whether to the left wing or the right wing. Now, some add-ons can be added behind that building to make at least a canteen, which is some 2,000 square feet in length and breadth. Some kind of innovative thing, keeping that building intact, basic facade of the canteen intact. The behind it, if some kind of intelligently, if we can design some kind of structure that needs a help of a professional architect, that would add glory to that whole place. So the canteen is slightly small. I just had some food in the canteen 8 months back. It looks slightly congested. It looks like a railway waiting hall. I'm sorry for being sarcastic. That's not what a canteen of a large education institute like NIT Calicut should look like. Well, I'm just making my observation because I visit many campuses, and I visited the Singapore Management University campus. That is a very small campus compared to some of the campuses we build in India. And we should be proud of it. Most of the campuses that the Indian government build are really out of the world. But we are trying to make it even more imposing, because a person like me spent 4 years, slightly more for life there, and had an emotional attachment to the place. Now, some of the statements I have made, now I will go to one more thing. I think from the top of the DB, departmental building, the Western Ghats must be seen. We must to take the full aesthetic advantage of the Western Ghat mountains. If it is seen from REC Calicut, NIT Calicut, please put a restaurant or hotel at that point so the students come and sit, or faculty and will come and sit, have a cup of tea and look at the Western Ghats and the mountains. Because I remember having seen one, I don't remember from where it is, maybe it's from top of the department building. So in the afternoon, you can see, you can see the sun glittering on the Western Ghat mountains, and that is very visible to the naked eye from the top of one of those buildings. If it is from department building, I think they can position a cafe there, some kind of cafe. You can bring from outside and franchise it, who can sit there, show him that place and see if he can put up a cafe there. I think sitting there and having a cup of tea or coffee and having a look at the Western Ghat mountains would be tantamount equal to seeing the sea at NIT Karnataka, Surat Kalari Sea. We want that field. When you go to Suratkal, see the sea. When you come to Calicut, please see the hills. That must be the slogan. I think that must be seen. That must be seen. That will definitely improve the overall aesthetic value of the institute. Now I made such statements. Statements. So maybe I will add on certain things also to it, so that and conclude what I have tried to say, because I think most of the points I have from my own mindset, what I see and understand, my own kind of psychology of things. I have made some observations. I have not seen the campus in toto. One of the better views of the campus, I must say, if I say the three views of the campus which are very interesting. When we see the main building from the when we come down from the guest house, just have a look at the main building in the evening sun. It looks very good. And as I said, the departmental building from Papachan, and also the main building seen from one of those labs. I think it is a mechanical engineering lab. Just have a look at the main building from that viewpoint on the evening sun. The whole thing looks very enchanting. One more thing is to cover that opening on the right side when we enter at the departmental building. Left side is covered with a computer block. Right side is an opening. There also, if we can intelligently build a building of some kind with correct kind of attachments to both DB and MB, that will also add to the aesthetics of the institutes. And in that square in the middle, some fantastic trees can be planted so that anyone comes in gets a perfect look. I've seen Calicut Medical College building. The moment you enter, it's a rectangular structure like that. And the whole gives a, I think such kind, the Calicut Medical College model can be followed there. Cover that on the right side also intelligently at par with the departmental building. And you have a square in place, do everything possible to make that square very, very attractive. When we go from the departmental building, from the main building to the departmental building, there is a slope. Suddenly I see people really running down the slope. I think that place you can put some stairs, two three stairs, which will look the whole, will make the whole look thing place look even better. But that square between the departmental building and main building, that must be tapped fully for certain kind of other kind of add-ons like trees. I think I saw a couple of trees, but they must be planted and made very well. If you can draw certain nice roads and dimensions there and make some kind of rose gardens and maintain it in some form, nothing like that. There are so many tall ornamental trees. What prevents us from putting that kind of trees there? It will definitely add to the aesthetics of that place, that square. And you can rename that square in some form or whatever you want, but it helps in, or maybe the roads of inside RC campus has to be named after, given some names. I think some names are named, but it can also be given other names. Now, these are some of my observations about what I saw at that place. Now, I think most of it I have touched, most of it I did, except for maybe one or two things. Some, if possible, some 100 trees can be planted inside the campus. If manpower is needed to take care of these plants and trees, I think that manpower also must be sourced, and the horticultural department or the concerned department of government can say where all these plants and trees can be put. There are various kinds of ornamental trees. Some trees that grow very tall and look like a coconut tree, but it's not a coconut palm. We've got a lot of coconut palms inside the institute. But added to that, in certain places, even when the starting of the campus from 12th mile, if we can plant some kind of ornamental trees on the either sides of the road, that also be a good idea. As of now, up to the canteen, some kind of ornamental roads fully till the end of the campus. What is it? It look good, but someone has to maintain it and make it grow. Because I have seen the campus, I'll be in a better position to say. I maybe make some suggestions. I don't know about the other part of the campus where faculty quarters are there. I'm told the management department has come there. It's a good idea what has been done there. Even there is potential there also to build some kind of high-rise buildings for staff to stay and such kind of things in the modern day world that we live in. I think by and large, I have, yeah, there's one more statement that I would like to make before I maybe almost conclude. When I saw the campus, when I entered the campus of the main building, I saw on the right vision and mission statement was put very small. I think this must be put in a very big way. This is called as the figure of the institute. The vision mission statement is what everyone sees, students and people see every day. Figure vision and mission statements improve the spirit of an organization. People will not fight, people will cooperate and work. I think that vision and mission statement also must be enlarged and made slightly better. Some of the wordings can be improved because I was in all this kind of corporate consultancy for many years. The wordings can be improved, and it must be put in a large font on the institute, not in a small place. That's one suggestion because I told you that's the figure of an institute. You have to improve that so that people feel have a very good positive feeling when they walk to the institute. I know generally the overall psychology of people gets even more better, and people act in a even much better reaction to events around them. This is the advantage of putting all these things. See, when I went into Bangalore University campus, the management campus, I saw writing on the right side. Let noble thoughts come from all sides. See, this is the starting point of the institute. I'm not least bothered what they are teaching inside that campus. If I go there for placement, suppose to interview someone, I will take all the students because for the students, noble thoughts would be coming anyway. Because the college is positioned like that. What a nice statement. Let noble thoughts come from all sides. Sometimes they put Sanskrit statements also. Some kind of Sanskrit statements also in some places. May not be Sanskrit, even English statement. At least the vision and mission must be painted very well. And that's a very important part of modern day running of organizations, having some of these vision and mission statements written very well. That's why we are slightly living in a much better world. Long back there used to be industrial unrest. Today we do not have industrial unrest as we had before because everyone is working towards the vision and mission and doing the best contribution that they can do. So these things are there. So before I conclude, I will say any institution's figure and ground. Vision and mission is a component figure and ground. Please improve that. And then on the other side, the ground side, NIDRC Calicut today is horizontal perfect vehicle, vertically wanting certain add-ons. So I have made certain statements where certain situations where these add-ons can be planned, but even other things can be added. Even others also can put their mind inside to see that how the entire campus can get a solid, imposing look. Even the government of India can help and also put this institute. I was also having an idea. I started department of aeronautical engineering, started department of social sciences, social engineering, BTech degree in social engineering. Please design syllabus for that. And see, we badly need social scientists and engineering people today. A combination of technology and society. I used to teach a course, media and society. Media is technology, society is sociology. There's a combination of both to somewhere. These things also engineering colleges today have to do, have to discuss and have to be taught. Now, I was listening to a lecture at MIT where the lecture faculty was teaching about economics, and I asked him, "What is this? So, what is the importance of economics in technology institute?" And he immediately says, "See, technology and engineering is all about optimizing, and economics is an area of optimization. So both of them have a handshake." So see, and then in India we don't look at things that way. That way, so that means we need to have a BTech degree in social engineering also if possible to harmonize various aspects of modern day society. Well, I just made that improves the figure of the college and the institute. Now, I made the statements from afar, and because I've stayed in the campus and enjoy relation living in the campus, and remember every single moment of the happiness that most of us had as students, not just studying but also being very happy. So we add such things so that it helps the institute to position itself even much better in the future. Thank you very much.